Welcome to One Step Past, and this is Show and Yell! Today I want to show off my George Washington decanter. George Washington is a personal hero of mine, and if you are American, he should be a personal hero of yours too. This box is really fantastic looking. I mean, they did a good job. It was made for the McCormick Distilling Company in 1976 for the bicentennial. And all around you get to see all this really neat. This wasn't just a hastily produced item. You can see on the one side here, there's a write-up about the founder of the McCormick Distilling Company, Ben Holladay. On the bottom, you'll see a little write-up about George Washington's sword, which is at the time at the Smithsonian. On the back of the box, they show you some of the other decanters that they made in this series. My personal favorite, besides the George Washington, is the Paul Revere. You can see he's rearing up on the horse there. But there's some other important figures. Betsy Ross, John Paul Jones, John Hancock, Patrick Henry, Thomas Jefferson. On the side of the box here, you have a pretty lengthy write-up for George Washington. Now, it's not easy just to make a short write-up about George Washington, but they did about as concise as they possibly could. Let's have George think outside of the box here. Let's open this box up and see what's inside. They did a fantastic job with the detailing on this decanter. It's 13 inches tall, and looking all around it, you can see that this was made with great thought and care. They really wanted to capture George Washington, and I think that they did an excellent job. He originally held bourbon whiskey. Not when I got him. I got him secondhand. But I got it for the statue part of it anyway. Sometimes George can lose his head. I would think that when you were pouring this, that you had to be really careful so as not to break his hands. But I saw this. I found it at a garage sale of all places, and I thought this was so neat that I just had to have it in my trophy case. This is by far the best item of George Washington merchandise I've ever come across for myself. Stay tuned for another episode of Show and Yell! Where I show you some more awesome artifacts of history. George Washington. Fast facts. George Washington was a big loser. As a general, George Washington lost more battles than he won. His victories, however, were quite important. What's wrong with the White House? George Washington was the only president who didn't live in the White House, although he chose the site and approved the plans. During his presidency, Washington lived in New York City at 1 Cherry Street. Scarface. Having smallpox as a teenager left scars on George Washington's nose and cheeks. Most artists, however, were kind enough to leave out the pockmarks when painting his portrait. Lunch money. The first coins issued by the U.S. government were made from Washington's silverware. Childless Father. Washington, nicknamed the father of his country, had no children of his own. He did, however, have 2 stepchildren from Martha's previous marriage that he raised as his own. The boy was John, nicknamed Jack, and the girl was Martha, nicknamed Patsy. Tell the tooth. George Washington had bad teeth for the majority of his life. The long-standing myth is that he had dentures made of wood. This is false. He did, in fact, have dentures, but they were made of various materials including human teeth, animal teeth, ivory, even metal.
Stamp of approval. George Washington was the first president to have his picture displayed on a postage stamp. Capital idea. George Washington helped lay the cornerstone of the Capitol. Smooth talker. When he became president, George Washington's inauguration speech lasted only 90 seconds. Landslide Victory. George Washington was unanimously elected as the President of the United States.